Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy and this is a contest entry. And it's a contest for Richard McCook over in Northern Ireland. He's the king of pop music in the VC, knows everything, has got all the singles and everything. Big fan of David Bowie and T-Rex and ABBA and many other artists, and tons of singles and tons of albums and just amazing collection. And he wants us to participate in this contest called My Quarter. And one of the big things behind the contest is to figure out why it's called My Quarter. Okay. I will also say that Richard's channel was one of the first I started watching when I started watching videos for the vinyl community. And anyway, his first prompt is for us to show 4 eponymous releases. Well, so in other words, the title of the album is the same as the artist. And so let's get started with that. My first one is, since Richard is from Northern Ireland, it's a Northern Irish band and it's called The Adventures. They were formed in Belfast, according to one source, and another source said they were formed in London. Which I think they moved to London from Belfast, but I think most of the musicians in the band are from Northern Ireland. But anyway, it's The Adventures, and this is the North American release, because over in the UK it was called Theodore and Friends. But over the US, they changed the track listing around a little bit, and I think they remixed some of the songs. But they're a synth pop group. But I'm using the American release, which is called The Adventures, and the same as the name of the group. Oh, and they were on the Chrysalis label, at least over here in the U.S. anyway. All right, my second one is the Georgia Satellites. And this is an album from 1986. They were formed in Atlanta. Kind of reminds me of Leonard Skinner and the like, but in 1986 when a lot of other things were happening, just good old time rock and roll. They had a big hit with the song Keep Your Hands to Yourself, and kind of a minor hit with Battleship Battleship Chains. They even do a cover of my favorite Rod Stewart song, Every Picture Tells a Story, on here. But yeah. Great album. They never really replicated this album here, Georgia Satellites. Oh, and they were on the Elektra label. Next is Betty Davis and her album, Betty Davis. This is her debut. She was the ex of Miles Davis, kind of the funk queen, and she did 3 great funk albums. This one came out in 1973, got a great backup band, got some great songs like If I'm in Luck, I might Get Picked Up, and Game Is My Middle Name. Just funky, sexy songs from Betty Davis. And this is there's the inner here. This is a Light in the Attic reissue, which I think they reissued all 3 of her albums, but there it is, Betty Davis. And then one of my favorite groups, The Blasters, their album, The Blasters. And this album came out in 1981. You had the brothers Dave Alvin on guitar, Phil Alvin on vocals. In fact, that's Phil Alvin, the cover. He would really contort his face when he was singing. He really got into the music. But great, like I said, roots rock and roll from the Blasters. Songs like Marie Marie, Border Radio, which Dave Alvin later do on his own solo album, A Hollywood Bed, but just some great songs by the Blasters. And they were on the Slash label, which I think was, there's the Warner Brothers down here, so it must have been a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. And the next prompt was to show an album with the most characters in their title. So like the longest name, the longest album name in your collection. I didn't look at everything, but I just thought of two long ones, and it came out that they were both had 50 characters. So it was a tie, and maybe I'll get some extra credit because I'm going to use David Bowie and The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, which is 50 characters, and also Richard's favorite artist. This was a reissue. There's the label and the inner sleeve with the lyrics. And it was tied with this Everclear album, which is titled Songs from an American Movie, Volume 1, Learning How to Smile. And this had some great songs on it. AM Radio, which is a really cool song, Unemployed Boyfriend, and the song Wonderful, which was a big hit. But they also got a song called Otis Redding, and they do a remake of Brown Eyed Girl on here. And the next prompt was to show the shortest album title in your collection. So I've got Foreigner 4, which was just the number 4. I've never seen it spelled out F-O-U-R, so I think this was correct. It could just be 4. But if it has to be letters, then closest I could come probably is the album Up by ABC. I think this is like their 5th album. Not as strong as their first few, but still, you got the vocal talents of, what is his name? Can't think of his name. Martin Fry. But great album, Up. Well, not a great album. I take that back. It's a decent album. It's got a few great songs on here, but not as good as their early material. This is ABC and Up. Now, if you include the band name and the name of the album, that's only 5 letters. That's pretty good. And the last part was a bonus question of why is this contest called My Quarter, which was hard for me to figure out. He's got like 1.49 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. So if you round it off, maybe 1.4 is like 1/4. Or his name has 14 characters in Richard McCook. If you put a division sign between the 1 and the 4, it's 1/4, which is a quarter is 25%. So anyway, that's my best I could come up with. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for hosting the contest, Richard. I enjoy your channel a lot.